Welcome to Sports Management Podcast, where you will hear interesting sports management professionals share their stories, experiences, and passion for the sports management industry. I am your host, Marcus Philipsson. Today's guest is Nina Wennerström, founder and CEO of Wesport agency. Nina is a former professional tennis player who in 2014 started her own sports agency, Wesport. She was the first female licensed hockey agent in Sweden, and through her agency, she and her team represent players from tennis, hockey, football, and paddle. Nina and I talk about the industry, what Wesport does for the athletes, why the industry is so male-dominant, and much more. Nina Wennerström, welcome to Sports Management Podcast.
Thank you so much. Exciting to be here.
I'm very excited to talk to you too. And you are the CEO of a Wesport agency. Can you tell us a little bit about the agency and what your role includes?
Yeah, Wesport is a sport management agency. So basically we represent athletes from all over the world within different sports. We currently work with tennis players, hockey players, football players, and paddle players. So we have like 90 clients from 23 countries, I think. And our job as an agency is to maximize our clients' careers, both like on the court or on the pitch or on the field or on the ice, but also off the court or pitch or field or ice. So what we want to make sure is that they maximize their careers, both professionally or athletic, development-wise, but also commercially. So, that's basically our job.
That's very interesting. And can you talk a little bit about more what you do outside of the pitch? Is it, for example, training plans or financial advising and so on? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big variation depending on where they are in their career. If it's a young athlete, like a next-gen player coming up, they often need more support on the development side. It could be to find the right setting, academy, coach, change their habits or learn more about what to eat or, how to stay injury-free and becoming the best athlete you can possibly be. But then when they get older or they develop into their pro careers, it's more about handling their businesses. In the beginning, it's not so much business. It's more like to help them reach their goals and dreams. And because without any result or development, there's hardly any commercial value either. So in the beginning, we focus very much on that. And when they develop along the way, then the commercial opportunities comes along. But in the end, our goal is to help them, fulfill their dreams and be part of that journey and support them and in whatever way they may need. We are not financial advisors. We have that externally. So what we handle is like contract negotiations or finding the right setup, sponsors, PR, media, legal is not also in-house. We're working with a Max law firm, but it's also a very important aspect for us to make sure contracts are reviewed. And it could be social media, it could be finding the right club or finding the right sponsor, finding the right coach, all these things that, concerns your career basically.
It sounds like you provide a first-class service to these athletes.
We try our best, and I think we are very privileged to work with our hobbies. I think everyone who works at Wesport, we love sport and we love this journey, and we're very passionate about it. So, some days are great for them, and some days are tough, and it's the same for us. I think our athletes are our inspiration in our daily lives. They work hard and they are goal-oriented and result-oriented and a lot of fighting spirit and, constantly trying to develop. And I think that's the way we try to work as well. So I think, the business side can learn a lot from the athletes.
I see. And you mentioned before that you have athletes from different sports. Does your job differ in how you help the athletes if it's a paddle athlete versus a football athlete, for example?
Yeah, I mean, the company is divided between different divisions. So every sport has its own team, basically, with like scouts or agents or client managers. And very often the people that work within that sport has also experience from that sport. So yeah, from that point of view, it differs. But there are also many resources we have that all sports can use. So it's been very good for us to have many sports and not only one, to widen our portfolio. But also it's the athletes really enjoy it. Sometimes you live in your own bubble in your own sport, and a tennis player sometimes love going to US to watch NHL, or a football player think it's exciting to come to Wimbledon, or you share experiences between different athletes and different sports. And in the end, they all have the same challenge. They need to maximize their career. It's a lot of pressure, and they need to deliver under pressure. They need to stay injury free. They need to be strong, fitness wise, mentally wise. So I would say in that aspect, it's very similar. But of course, each sport has its different ways, and different roles. And yeah.
I understand. You recently expanded to also include players from paddle. Was that a natural step for the company to take, considering how popular paddle has become?
Yeah, it's actually the only thing we have done that wasn't part of the plan initially, like from my business plan I built. Paddle was not part of that, but given how much the sport has grown and, the commercial values that are coming along with that, and the interest and the explosion in the interest, basically, it was natural. And also everyone at the office, we like paddle, and all our hockey or football, tennis players, they also like it. So it's a very popular sport, and we can also use it like a fun platform for events. We have Wesport Open in paddle, where we invite all the different athletes and they compete against each other. And we have our partners and companies coming in. So yeah, it's been fun.
I see. And since you have a background in tennis, was it maybe an easier transition into paddle?
Maybe not into paddle, but in general, tennis has been helpful. My background in tennis has probably been more helpful than my education when creating this company, because, you kind of have an understanding what the athletes are going through. Not because I have been on that level that most of them are, but still you can understand a lot of things they are going through in their life and what they need. And as I mentioned, I think, sport also for me, it has been very helpful, because that's where I got my fighting spirit and come back when it's struggling, or, to never give up, basically. So even if I don't have the experience from football or hockey or paddle, I think I can have learned how the businesses work. And I have so many great people in my network and people supporting us. So it's been natural to go into these sports as well.
And what drove you to start Wesport in 2014, from after your professional career as a tennis player?
Yeah, after my short career, I went to Stockholm School of Economics. I studied, and when I graduated, I moved to US, to Washington, to work for one of the biggest agencies in the world. And I love that. I love the work, actually, from day one, but I was an employee there many years, and there were certain things in the US culture I thought was, maybe it was too much maximizing profit sometimes instead of focus on the people. It was more money driven than people driven, I would say. So that was one thing I was often considering, that if I have the courage to start my own agency, I want to do that differently. And secondly, I was evaluating the Scandinavian market and what they do well in US. There are not so much competition here as in the US when it comes to these companies and sport agencies. So I thought there were room in the marketplace to develop something like Wesport. And thirdly, the reason was also I became a mother, and to then be an employee and in the States is very tough, when you have small kids. And I wanted to be my own boss and decide my own hours, and most importantly, be a mom. And so that was also a very strong reason to to start a company for lifestyle or life balance, basically.
I understand. And you are also a licensed hockey agent in Sweden.
Yeah.
And I read that in 2017 there were 43 out of 44 were men.
Yeah.
And then you were the only female.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shocker, actually. When I decided to go into hockey, I didn't know that. But then there is these conferences with all the agents, and we first all got together. That's when I really realized that there's really it's not like it's few women, it's really no one else than me. And it's weird. I mean, in general, this business is so male dominant. Like, it's extremely one of probably the most male dominant works in the world, and it's very difficult to understand why. I have asked myself that question many times, because it's not a job where you need to be, physically strong or something like that. I mean, you need to be good at management, marketing, sales, negotiations, organization, leadership, these kind of things, and where women actually are equally strong as men. So it's really weird, and it's really sad, because it's such a amazing job. And it's I don't know why actually that is the case.
Have you seen any development on this part since 2017? Are there more female women agents now, or do you feel like there are more women in the industry?
Not in hockey. Maybe in tennis, yes. We also have a female agent in tennis within Wesport. But hockey and football is very male dominant, I would say. I hope by time it will change, and but it's hard. It takes time also, but I think it's one of the best and most exciting and fun works that you can ever get. So I hope that more women will look for it.
I hope so too. If we talk a little bit about the agency work, I'm sure it's not 8 to 5 kind of working day, and it involves a lot of travel, etc. How do you deal with time management, and how do you maximize the work that you do in the time that you have?
Yeah, I think when I started my career, I was traveling constantly. Like the first 10 years, I did a lot of travel to, get to know the people and the clients and everything. But now when I started Wesport, as I mentioned, I become a mother, and I have been able to build up an amazing team with the young, hungry people that love to travel and love to see the world. So right now, no one can really do it because of the situation in the world. But how we have structured the company now is that I travel much less, and they get the chance to travel. And time management, I think, is very interesting. I think it's one of my strengths, actually. I'm very I have read a lot about that, and always thought about how to structure my days and how to prioritize. And so I'm very interested in that area. I think there's still room for improvement. Yeah, I have found my way. So when I leave the office pretty early, I pick up the kids and I try to be present at work or at home. But it's a challenging, of course, when you have today phones and different time zones. And a Saturday can, of course, be the most important day of an athlete's life, basically, if they play a big semifinal in some event or tournament or league. Or so but it's also, as I mentioned, this is a little bit more like a lifestyle than a job. And if you are passionate about sports, it's fantastic, because when they do well, it's nice first, you like the people, so you care about these clients, so you're happy for them, but also it's good for the company. So we have a lot of engagement.
You talk very fondly about your team and the Wesport family, and you as the CEO, since it's a sports management podcast. If we talk about leadership, what would you say is your leadership style?
Oh, I think there is a lot I have to improve there. I don't think it's my strength, actually. It's the same there as with everything. I read a lot and I try to learn a lot. But I think when it comes to leadership, maybe I've gone from being pretty useless to average now. But I don't know. It's hard. I don't really I don't really know exactly what my style is. I think one advantage I have had my whole career is that I never played a role. It's a little bit like this business is very macho and it can be pretty tough. And I think I have enjoyed it and survived in it because I have found my way, which obviously is a little bit different, maybe a little bit like softer in some way, but also very driven by passion and happiness. I think that's like it is two very important ingredients for me running this company, to feel energy and passion and happiness. But I think there's so many better people to ask about. I think I'm very good at signing athletes and taking care of them and being an agent, but this running a company and being a leader, or it's totally new for me actually. So I'm still learning and trying to develop.
But still, you have had this company now for 7 years almost, and it's a successful company. And I mean, there are different leadership styles, and I don't think that one is necessarily better than the other. It's just which one that fits your company, and obviously this one works for you.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think it's a very nice culture at the company. And one thing I think we differ a lot from our competitors is that internally there is a lot of competition within the bigger agencies, and I never liked that. It was always like, this is my client, and you almost have colleagues are almost your competitors, and we don't have that climate at all. We're really working as a team. Happy for even the tennis division is happy if the soccer is doing well, or a hockey is happy if tennis division is doing well. And if we have success on one athlete, everyone is happy about that. Or if someone is injured or having a tough time, so we all get involved and try to help that athlete. So I think that's a strength we have, that we are really like a team and a good company culture working together. And I think that's helpful because it's a pretty tough job too, and demanding. So I think to share this together, it's important. And also the athletes feels that everyone has different roles. I may be good at something, but I don't know other things. So I think we have very much all the competencies internally, and different people and different styles, and that's helpful towards our clients.
Yes, of course, that's very important. And you mentioned before when we talked about the traveling, that you're traveling less, and now also because of the COVID, obviously it's less traveling.
Yeah.
So how has the pandemic affected your job and the Wesport?
Yeah, I think, it's been interesting because we had time, which we never had over these 6.5 years since I started the company. I had this list, that I have filled on every year with more things, like if I ever get time, I want to do this, I want to do this. But then the operational things takes a lot of time and you get busy. But 2020 was amazing from that point of view, because it gave us time to do all the things we wanted to do, but and now we really did them. And I don't think that without the sport being still for a while, that we could have done these things. So we have really tried to develop the company in, not maybe at that point revenue wise, because everything was still, but really like when it comes to partnership and new competences and resources and doing things differently. And so it's been weird. And now, of course, 2021 is coming. You just want it to start again. Now it was some time where you can, you could go through it, but now you really want it to kick off again. You miss the audience and you miss the events. And so now everyone is just eager to get things back.
So when you're out looking at events and games, if you are looking to sign a new athlete, for example, what is it that you're looking for in an athlete that you want to sign to your agency?
Yeah, in all sports, we have scouts, and that they basically look through, of course, if this person has the ability to develop into a professional player in that specific sport, like technically, physically, but I would say in the end, the most important thing is mentally. That's what makes the difference. There are so many good athletes today. There is so much competition. Sport is played all over the world. If you look at football or tennis, for example, it's two of the most global sports in the world, and it's just crazy. So in the end, to get through in that bus, you need to really be strong mentally and have the right attitude, and so that's very, very important, and something where we really try to help our players. We have started to work with a guy. His name is Sebastian Pisano. He's, I would say, one of the best in the world when it comes to maximizing athletes' well-being and body and performance from a more of a holistic point of view. Like, he's not only looking at he's looking at everything from nutrition to how they are feeling or mentally, and everything comes together, how you sleep or how you use your phone or all of that. So I think that's important.
Yes, and what did you mean with using their phones? Is it social media and these kind of things, or?
Yeah, it can be phones today. Of course, the digital society can be distractive and take a lot of energy. If you stay up late at night and you sleep less good and all these things. So it's a new world and new challenges to go through, also with the social media and all of that. So we try to guide them. In the end, what you want is an athlete, no matter what age or what where they are in their career. You just want them to be happy, and you want them to be injury free, and to feel motivated and have the energy. I think then it's very often going very well.
Yeah, it's that's very interesting. Technology is such an important part now, and that you implement that in your business plan now for the athlete. I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Is there something that I haven't asked you that you would like to mention?
No, I think you have asked very relevant and good questions.
Okay. Then if you could choose the next guest on this podcast, who do you think would be a good guest?
Wow. Yeah, I have to think. I'll come back to you on that.
Okay. And Nina, thank you so much for being on the Sports Management Podcast and teaching us more about Wesport and the agency business.
No, thank you. Thank you for letting me join.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Sports Management Podcast. Do you have thoughts or ideas about this podcast, or do you know someone that I should interview next? Please reach out to me on sportsmpodcast@gmail.com or visit my website sportsmanagementpodcast.com. If you prefer social media, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram @sportsmpodcast.